Kyle Madsen, former NFL running back and current broadcaster for CBS. He's also on Sirius XM, Channel 88, The Tailgate Show. Robert Turbin joining us now. Robert, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Doing great in Houston. Trying to stay cool. That's why I'm inside.
Yeah,
Kind of stay out of this humidity out here. We're not used to that out there in Cali where where we're from, But got an exciting game tonight. Doing well, man. Doing well. Excited that the season is back.
Did you take any time out of your preparation for UNLV Sam Houston tonight on CBS? Did you take any time out of your preparation to react to this Micah Parsons trade yesterday afternoon, where Dallas sent Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers?
Well, it was kind of hard to ignore because it was
Yeah.
everywhere, So definitely took some time to react. I actually tweeted something out. I usually don't even really get on, X, I guess we can call it, that much. But I felt inclined to say something. I'm in a group. I'm in this fantasy football league with like Michael Fabiano and Trey Wingo, some of these guys that used to be, and they're all up in arms, about the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones. And there's always this constant, when I'm on Sirius XM radio, when I'm on these platforms, there's always this constant about Jerry Jones this, Jerry Jones that. You tune in to Get Up in the morning on ESPN. And it's just like, to me, I don't see I don't really see a whole lot of wrongdoings from Jerry. So anyway, to answer your question, yes, I did take some time for some reaction on the Michael Parsons trade.
So you actually played for the Cowboys in 2015.
I did.
What was that experience like to be in that building, to be around Jerry Jones or around that sort of the the allure that is the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, it was Hollywood. It was Dallas Hollywood. That's what it was. It really was. It's kind of funny. Like after a game in the locker room, you got Romo in there. You got Dez. This was before Romo injured his back. You got Darren McFadden. All these guys. And it was like Jerry Jones. It was like Michael Jordan. All the cameras, every microphone, people reaching over each other, just to get what Jerry Jones is going to say, in the locker. He the star, man. It's really Jerry's world out there. But it's certainly like everything about it, I don't know, everybody that works, at the facility, especially on game day, the cheerleaders. It's a show. It's a big show out there. The fans are so close to you that they can almost touch you, coming out of the locker room, and that's on purpose because it's a show, and so, but it was a dope experience. Yeah, I actually enjoyed my time with the Cowboys. It's unfortunate we weren't able to come to terms on a deal. I know what it's like to negotiate with those guys and how they can be so, it's this way or the highway, so we took the highway and it worked out okay for us.
Talking to Robert Turbin, former NFL running back, broadcasting UNLV Sam Houston State tonight on CBS. So Jerry Jones yesterday, after the trade, says he thinks the Cowboys have gotten better. Do you agree with that?
Well, first of all, Kenny Clark, everybody acting like he's just some average player.
Yeah.
This dude, this 3-time Pro Bowler. This dude's a baller now. And Jerry Jones mentioned something that was very accurate in terms of the Dallas Cowboys not being able to stop the run. That's an accurate statement. And so Kenny Clark helps you do that. You've got now 2 first-round picks that you've acquired from the Green Bay Packers. You've got 2 other first-round picks that you've acquired, from another trade. So you've built a team. Yes, you lose Micah Parsons, but that doesn't mean the Cowboys still can't win right now. With a strong offense and a high-powered offense and still some good players on defense, and you're prepared for what's to come down the road with a quad set of first-round picks. So, to me, is it a hard decision to make? Of course, anytime you're trading a player who's young and he's one of the best in the league. Anytime you trade them away like that, it's a tough choice. But at the same time, you have to navigate all the scenarios. Everybody's looking at one thing, but nobody's talking about the salary cap. Nobody's talking about the future. Nobody's talking about the failures that the Cowboys have had over the last several years, even with these same players.
Mhm.
So, to me, it's a risk, but at the same time, it's not an unwise decision. It kind of remains to be seen, I guess.
You've been in an NFL locker room for years. Like, how does this impact a team when you go from, like prepping for a season, knowing the week one is just a few days away, to all of a sudden just this jarring moment where one of your best players walks out the door and he's not coming back?
Yeah, it's a lot of trash talking going on. Like, man,
Mhm.
what? And then you kind of get into this mindset of like, man, can I trust these coaches? Can I trust the management? You get into a weird space at first,
Mhm.
but over a little bit of time, you come to terms with like, man, this is the league, man.
Sure.
You'll have a conversation with your agent that night. You'll have a conversation with your parents, maybe. Obviously, teammates will, converse amongst one another, and you just realize like, yo, this is just what it is. And most players don't realize, because then it's like, how do you then welcome in Kenny Clark at the same time?
Sure.
Who I mentioned is a baller. So you
Mhm.
got to have a space for that. You can't allow him to feel like some sort of outcast
Right.
because your boy got traded. You know, so you have to be able to compartmentalize and just say, hey man, this is what it is. And we have to welcome our new teammate with open arms. What happens is that as players, and I, like I didn't learn this until I was teammates with Frank Gore in Indy, because he taught me a lot about like, just the business of the league.
Mhm.
Because naturally as players, it's like, man, it's the players and it's management and it's separate. We don't. But Frank was like, no, you how do you think guys become coaches? How do you think guys retire and become general managers or scouts or whatever it is? It's because of that relationship and that understanding of decisions that are being made aren't personal.
Mhm.
Jerry Jones even said, he's like, man, Micah, I don't got no problems with Micah. This is
Mhm.
just a trade that we felt like was going to benefit our football team. And so as players, what we have to do a better job of, I guess what we need to be taught earlier is to put ourselves in a general manager's shoes and truly ask ourselves, what would you do? You know, would you cut yourself? Would you cut the same player? Would you
Sure.
make the same trade? Would you make the same signing? And you try to imagine all the variables around it. How much salary cap you have, who how many players do you have at X position, etc. And really navigate those decisions. They're difficult, but they're decisions that have to be made.
Talking to Robert Turbin, spent 4 of his 8 seasons with the Seattle Seahawks. I'd be remiss before we get you out of here if I didn't ask, what were your thoughts when you saw that Pete Carroll's heading back to the sideline down there in Vegas?
Oh, I was excited for him. I was excited for him. He can't. There's no. He can't go anywhere. He can't play without football, man. He can't. He can't go without. He didn't want to sit out the year that he sat out in the first place.
Right.
Coach Carroll, man, he a ball coach. That's what he is. That's what he does. So I was happy to see him get another opportunity.
We've been pretty high on the Raiders just because he's on the sideline, Ashton Genty in the backfield. It's like, man, you kind of see what they're trying to build here.
Well, we'll see. I did Boise State. I think I had 4 Boise State, games last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw Ashton Genty up close and personal. I'm not going to say the guy's not a good player, but it remains to be seen. It definitely, he's definitely, to me, everybody's got something to prove. I don't think he necessarily separated himself from the other backs that were in the draft as much as folks, had him. Was he the number one? Absolutely, but he wasn't far away from, Quinshon Judkins and Henderson and some of these other guys that were in the draft as well.
Sure.
And so, there's some aspects to his game that are just like kind of like, I mean, truly, when you watch Ashton Genty, did you how many times did you drop your jaw and say, wow, and he did something you ain't never seen before because he jumped over a defender? Guys are doing that all the time now.
Sure.
So, we'll see. I'm not trying to sound like a hater. I think he's gonna be good. I'm hard on RBs. I'm hard on him. I think he's gonna be good, but I'm just saying, we'll see.
That's Robert Turbin. You hear him tonight. UNLV at Sam Houston. You can also hear him on Sirius XM channel 88, the Tailgate Show. Robert, thank you so much. We love having you on, and we'll do it again soon, man.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
There goes
Thanks,
Robert Turbin.